Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 360. I am your host, Keith Andrew, along here with Mr. Hems and Mr. Roy. And I just want to say, fellas, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
Welcome, Keith.
Now, for everyone who wants to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up, and you should prove to people you can still amount to something. So that being said, half hour, 35 minutes every time. So that being said, let's jump right into it. So starting off, what can you tell us about yourselves?
I'm Matthew Roy. I'm a writer, producer, actor, and as of yesterday, first AD, and just making movies. That's what we do.
And much the same, Keith. This is my second interview with you, so it's nice to see you again.
No, absolutely.
What's that?
No, absolutely. And to be honest, I was very surprised when Matt said, "Oh, guess who's joining us?" Like, I was like, "Wait, didn't I interview you before?" And I had to look it up. It's like, "Oh, yes, we did." But it's really good to have you on the show.
Yeah, the same here. Matt said that to me, but yeah. So we knocked out this film together, which I directed. We produced together. So you know a bit about me as a filmmaker and actor. So yeah, it's good to see you again.
No, you too. And don't mind me, I'm just looking up the questions on my phone this time I'm going to ask you. But starting off with Matt, is who influenced you to start your career, and how many years have you been doing your career for?
Me personally, I've been writing for roughly 4 years, and I've completed about 6 or 7 films. Still working on a couple of them, obviously with new ideas as well. Ideas are always generating in my head just for future possibilities of adding work opportunity to the entertainment world, and that's kind of what I enjoy doing. It's something that I really love. I love creating a whole new story to put into a different character's world. Gives them something to look forward to down the line. But influential, any successful writer or writer and just himself, they influence me. It's something, I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I'm trying to be myself, trying to create opportunity in my own way and bring out new ideas to the entertainment industry. So everybody's look at successful and influential differences and stuff like that. To me, it doesn't really matter who I'm like. I'm just trying to be me personally.
No, absolutely. If you're interested, I would love to work with you guys if that's a possibility.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, we could definitely discuss that down the road for sure.
And I don't know if you ever caught up with your friend. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But he was on the road last night. He was traveling with the stars from Queen of the South. I don't know if you guys know who exactly I'm talking about.
But
yeah, you're talking about Joseph Campo.
Yeah.
He's one of the roles on Queen of the South.
Yeah, one of the stars of Queen of the South.
Yeah.
Boaz.
Well, you guys ever got to appear on Queen of the South, or what's your opinion about the show?
Great show.
Great show.
And JT has a great role on the show. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, the show it's picked up over the last year and a half. They did the first season. It was a pretty good, successful hit. The second season's looking quite the same. So we're just looking forward to watching the rest of this year and looking forward to what's going to happen in the next year to come. But Joseph Campos, he's an amazing actor. We love him to death.
Yes, sir.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, I'm just looking you up on IMDb, is what were some of your favorite films that you were a part of?
You? Oh. Well, they're going to be all the ones that I've written and the ones that are coming. I was involved with a few 28 or 24 and 48 hour projects. I was also on Deadline Crime with Tamara Hall. That was pretty fun. I did It's in the Hole, which was it was pretty cool. But along the lines of actually becoming, that actor, I'm not really looking forward to being an actor. I'm looking to be more a producer/writer, and that's kind of where my projects are coming into effect. I want to be a writer. I want to create that opportunity for others, and that's where I find my passion.
All right, well, let's give our viewers a perfect example, and I'm a perfect example, and using me as an example. Don't mind me, it's been a long day. Say if I hired you as a writer, what would be your first impression of my show? Do you think I should just ad-lib everything, or do you think I should write a real script? What to you, as a writer, would bring out the best of my show?
I think you should be you. I don't necessarily think a show needs a script or a screenplay like you're doing now, or even Jay Leno. I don't think there's a scripted screenplay that you can follow to do something like that. I think for you to be the host of the show and to come in as a writer, I think it would just be pointing out certain aspects of where your show could lead to. I don't think there's any way to actually write lines and do something like that, but definitely bringing in people, having the claps and the applauds and all that stuff. Definitely, I mean, there's definitely potential there. But you having say lines, I don't really think that's necessary. You just got to be you and come out as you and do you, and I think you'll be just fine. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. I give you a perfect example. I was looking at my phone and I use this as a teleprompter. I'm don't want to read. It's on my head here, oh, today on the show, we have a cat. And it makes it look funny. Yeah, I like making it real. It's oh, we have a cat. That's great. See, now I'm looking straight. Instead of when you watch Jay Leno or Colbert, you kind of notice their eyes drifting. It's well, I know they're not cross-eyed, so I know they're reading a teleprompter. So sometimes you notice, and sometimes it's kind of it's better to ad-lib.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes on them kind of TV shows, or, reality shows, however you might say it, they might be just looking toward that prompter for the next direction of where they were wanting to go. I mean, they might have some kind of scripted out, just small dialogue on what's going to take them to the next question, or when's the time for the commercial going to break, those kind of sort of things. I mean, yeah, they do drift off and they look at a prompter, but I don't think it's 100% scripted. There's no way.
All right, now we're going to take, I can't even talk, it's been a long day. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and like I said, anything can happen in life, and when we come back, I'm going to ask Craig some hard-hitting questions. And then after I ask Craig a couple hard I don't drink, by the way. So after I ask Craig a couple of hard-hitting questions, I'm going to pass the show over to you guys, and you can ask me anything you want.
Get a personal video message for yourself or as a gift for someone else. For personal connections, shoutouts, birthdays, proposals, weddings, and much more. Enter your details about yourself so the celebrity can record a personal video message, especially for you, including details such as your name, age, birthday, hobbies, or whatever else you include. As soon as the video has been recorded, you'll get an email with your link, so you can share it on social media or download and keep it. Celebrities record videos as and when they can, usually within 2 weeks. But if you want a video for a specific date and it does not look like it will arrive in time, you can cancel it and get an instant refund at the click of a button. There are hundreds of celebrities to choose from and many more joining every day. Search by category or genre. Buy a gift voucher, get updates and offers, and encourage your favorite celebrities to join so they can connect with fans in a fun and unique way. Raise money for their charities, and much more. So order your video now for yourself or for someone else.
Episode 360. I'm here with Greg and Matt, and I'll say, guys, thank you for sticking with me.
Sure.
Now, the first question I asked Matt did the first half of the show. I'm now going to pass it over to Greg. You told me you were on Criminal Minds, and the first question I was going to ask you is, did you enjoy working with Joe Montana, and did you also enjoy working with, I think his name's Ed, he's a tall guy with sort of slick black hair. I can't think of his name.
Right. Well, the show itself was tremendous. I mean, the part that surprised me, Keith, that the number of people on that show that work there. I mean, you don't see them when you're shooting, but I mean, I'm used to film when you have ample people on a film set. But again, this is CBS network television. But there were tons of people there. But CBS, they treat everybody with great respect. The caterers, everybody. The cast, Criminal Minds, were tremendous. It was just a class act, everybody. So it was a great experience. I have nothing but good things to truly say, honestly to say.
What about...
And it's a good show, so everybody should watch it.
Absolutely.
Keep them on the air.
Well, on the subject, I do find it kind of demented. Your honest opinion, do you think Criminal Minds is kind of demented, or do you think that's the theme they're going for?
Well, that's a modestly loaded question. Do I think it's demented? No. Being a father of 3 kids, 2 daughters, do I bar them from watching it? No. But are some of the themes on the darker side? Sure. But no, I mean, it's a highly rated show for a good reason. That it's well done, it's well written, and the acting on all sides is tremendous. So I think, it's been running for 15, 16 years for a good reason. They have their act together.
I agree. Yeah, I admit there are some episodes where you kind of scratch your head like, it's like, what am I watching? But there are some episodes that are really good.
So I think after 15 years, you're likely for anything to maybe walk away scratching your head on probably episode of anything at some point, saying, I don't know what all that was about. But I mean, overall, I mean, you have to give it A+.
No, absolutely. And now, my second question I asked was, Joe Montana. Did you guys get along? Did you ever get a chance to work together or be in the same place?
I didn't get a chance to work with him directly, but I got a chance to meet him at the table read, and he was tremendous. I did speak with him, and he was quite a gentleman. And shortly thereafterwards, which is kind of funny, he owns a restaurant in Burbank that I have gone to off and on for several years. It's a very good Italian restaurant. And so several months after being on the show, I went in there and I ate, and we happened to make eye contact, but I didn't make it like prolonged, like it was like awkward, like kind of like a stalker guy, And so I just glanced up, and he kind of like smiled, but I didn't know what to do, right? So I went about my business, and he got up and he kind of started walking over, and he sat down and he goes, hey, I want to tell you, I enjoyed meeting you. And he goes, you're at the table reading. He goes, I was disappointed we didn't catch to work with each other. But he goes, yeah, I enjoyed talking. He went back to his friend. But he came over. And the nicest guy there on that day, and he came over and talked. And the reason why I'm saying that, he was a class act on that day. You could just tell that everybody there genuinely liked him. And I think it's important to say that because a lot of actors get a really bum rap because of their ego. But he was just a particularly nice guy and very much a class act.
No, absolutely. I love him in Baby's Day Out. That's where he was great in that. And he's really great in The Simpsons. That's Fat Tony.
Yep.
Now, going back to Matt. Now, actually, the first question I'm going to ask for both of you is, you mentioned off the air that together you did over 8 films. And now the first question I was going to ask you is, do you think any of your films were going to be nominated for an Oscar? or an Emmy? And the second one is it just independents, or have they been actually on the mainstream?
Well, we have an 8-film slate list with a company called Wicked Cinema Entertainment. We do have a partner that we will, release later, but as of right now, they're not filmed yet. These are projects.
We just finished one over the weekend here.
Yeah, last night we wrapped on production, and we're in the post-production stage now. But with that being said, we have 8 films ready to go. Yeah, we have 8 films ready to go, and that's our plan over the next 2 years, is to knock them films out. So 8 films takes a long time, depending on how many you have. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. 8 films is going to take a while.
Right.
Film, you got pre-production, you got production, and you got post-production. And post-production, depending on how long and what kind of effects or special effects that you need, or even with the editing process, it could take a few months. So, but our plan is to go in one film into another film and just continue keeping us working, and not only that, but the actors we have involved.
Right.
No, I agree. And for a perfect example, for me, when I do all 100 episodes from a show for season 1, 2, and 3, I counted it takes a year and about year and a half, year to 6 months to get all 100, and then I can move up to another season. So if you had to compare the same thing, actually that brings up a good point that just popped in my head, is because you guys are filmmakers, what is the number one software you use for your films and recommend for people out there that you would say you have to do this if you want to be a producer? Or for me, for that matter, what is the talk show, if you want to be a talk show host, what is the software, hands down, you have to use?
Well, for editing, I'd say Final Cut Pro. That's as far as one, Keith, I think it's like many things, personal preference, that there's not one size that fits all. Such as there's not one camera that everybody's going to say, oh, well, this is the one to go with, But for editing purposes, that's what I would pick. But software, maybe you might want to weigh on that, but I can't really think of one beyond that.
On a producer standpoint of things, really, we hire people to do the editing phase, and with in post-production, you might have one person using Final Cut Pro, and you may have another editor that likes another program better. So really, there are top rated with 4 to 5 stars, but then there are some editors that will use a 3-star program, basically because it's better to understand, it's easier to understand, and they work better with that program. So I don't think it really necessarily matters on it don't have to be the best program that you're using. Any good editor is going to be able to snap something together that looks fantastic. And that all goes off the budget, too. I mean, you have to have a good budget. The post-production is very expensive. So budget is pretty much a factor of everything. You can make a fantastic movie on a really small budget. You can use something real small. There's all kinds of editing programs out there. You just don't know which one until you try it out. So to recommend just one, but yes, I'll go with Craig on that as well. Final Cut Pro for sure.
Now, how does iMovie stack up to that? Because I use iMovie for everything. And what is your own opinion about that? Do you think I should up my game, or do you think if you're happy with iMovie, you should stay with it?
Stay with it. I love iMovie, and that's what I started with. If it's delivering what you want, stay with it. Great Apple product, and probably for what you're using it for right now, it's ideal. The best advice I could give you, Keith, go into your local Apple store, tell them what you're doing, and I would talk to one of their business partners there and get their opinion. But I think you are probably well right where you are.
No, I appreciate it. Now I'm going to pass the show over to you guys. This is the last 15 minutes. This is your time. Do you have any funny stories? Do you have any funny pranks that you pull on each other? Was there anything you wanted to share? This is your time.
Oh, boy.
Well, Keith, this last film we just wrapped, and Matt is a little bit off on his numbers. Our slate of 8 films, we knocked off 1 with this film, so we have 7 to go.
Yeah.
But the film we just finished, A Perfect Day Remembered, 15 minutes is not enough time to say the stories. And the funny part about it, Keith, A Perfect Day Remembered is about a guy who just, anything that can go wrong in his life goes wrong. Well, that was also happening behind the scenes with the film. It's like, are you kidding me? So I don't know. Now we can't tell you like all of the stories, but you know what comes to mind to you, Mr. Writer.
Oh boy. I'll give you one. It won't give too much out of the context of things, I guess. Let's just say Joseph Campos is an amazing actor.
Tremendous actor.
When he shows up on set, it's 100% professional, and whatever you want from him, he's going to deliver it. There is no there's no 0% given, 10%. It's 120% the whole time.
Full throttle.
Yes, and I'm talking about with everything that he does, even when put into some certain situations.
Like any situation.
Any situation. Yes, we had a behind the scenes take yesterday. I'll give you just a little go on it. I mean, the scene was hot and heavy, and we had to create something that was.
I don't think you know that story, brother.
Yeah. So yeah, let's not go with that one. Let's try
let's say our first night here, Keith. We hadn't even started shooting. Our lead actress got locked in her bathroom. Right, we can go with that story, right?
Oh, yeah, we can go that one.
Matt and I arrived. We were all gonna get together. We were all gonna get together and kind of bond, you know, and just get together and all this before our first day of shooting. And so we arrived, and I wasn't paying a lot of attention. I said, "We're here to meet some people," and she was saying, "Oh, that the actress, she got locked in her bathroom and all this and that." And so I kind of like drifted over here, and but she didn't see the actress. This girl got locked in her bathroom, and I thought it had nothing to do with us. Well, Matt somehow was dialed in on this whole thing, and he picked up on it, and so realized it was tied to us. So that was our first night here. So we were dealing with all of that, and I'll just leave it with that story. And that was kind of that. We were not here but 3 minutes, and Keith, it just started going downhill. We just started laughing. I told Matt, I said, you know, from now on, let's be kind of mindful of the scripts that we write. But it was story after story after story, and we did catch some of them on film, and we just started laughing. But anyhow,
that was a good one. And you know, when you say the production books out hotels, right? Because we're in one too. As production is going on, you know, I mean, everybody stays in a hotel. It's no big thing. I mean, we're wrapping, so we head out tomorrow. But even ours wasn't great. You know, we walked into ours after a long day, and we get a no smoking room, and we walk in and it smells like a big old just a smoke fest room. So it's very amazing on how things work out in the entertainment industry when you don't expect them to. So like Craig's instance of telling that story, there were many other things wrong. And if you talk to Joseph, if you interview him, I'm sure he'll give his side of things. They're very interesting. And he'll make it real funny because they made it the best possible experience that they could possibly have.
Yeah.
And it all rolled into the film, which worked out great. So the night started off horrible, and then the perfect day started, which is also horrible. Yeah. So we had a lot of funny stories, and over time you'll start seeing those on social media as we produce some behind the scenes photos and stuff. but they're funny.
Well,
Trust me.
if you don't mind me for saying, I didn't mean to interrupt. I do apologize.
Oh, that's it. Go ahead.
Do you ever see the script with Saturday Night Live with Chris Farley and David Spade, and where he's doing the whole family feud thing, and there's a scene where he falls through the table, and David Spade turns around and he's trying not to laugh, but he's laughing. Oh, it's funny because all that was ad-libbed. Do you think for your films, and no disrespect, you guys are great writers, but do you think at the same time you do want to think outside the box and you do want to ad-lib, or do you think if it's good on paper, you should try it? Mm-hmm. So the question I'm asking is it always good on paper, or is it always good to ad-lib?
Well, here's what before we started shooting, I went to Joseph. We call him JT. I said, okay, and Matt and I both did. Matt was totally cool with it. I said, we all know what the words on the paper are. We know what we're going for here. And JT just ran with it, Keith, and came up with a lot of really good ideas, took some chances, Tony's a character, bring Tony to life, and that's the richness that JT brought to the character, because I told him I didn't want him to feel constricted, like, well, as a director, this is what I want to see, this is how I see the character. I said, this is what we're looking for, bring it to life and just go with it. And he more than ran with it. And so, yeah, to answer your question, this is what we're looking for, you take it and you make it magical. And he more than delivered.
Yes, he did.
And I think what helps, Keith, is Matt and I are both writers.
Right.
Myself also as an actor. So I have worked with directors who are very word specific, or writers and I do believe to show honor and respect to writers, to their words. They're there for a specific reason. But some actors aren't used to some of those words. It's not part of their daily life. So they may bumble those words up that they're just not comfortable with them. So to box in an actor or make them feel uncomfortable or tied up or constricted, I think is silly. You want to give an actor license to breathe and become that character. And after a while, the actor really knows the character better than anybody because they create the backstory. They bring the character to life. So I want that actor, in this case JT, to run with them and become that character. And brother, he did, Keith. I mean, he was Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, do you have any, now this fits me because, when I tell you I hesitate, it's part of my learning disability, and I would like to do this all my life. I don't want to have a learning disability all my life, but unfortunately it's that. What I was going to say is, when I don't do my talk show, I work in retail. And the last subject I want to ask you guys is, have you ever gone to work in retail, and do you have any funny retail experiences?
Do you mind if I take this?
No, go for it, brother.
Yeah, Keith, I do. And it was a scary experience. I was in high school. I worked at Burger King. And a buddy of mine got me a job at Burger King. I was on the grill. Every night I smelled like a meat pad. And my buddy had the shake machine, the nice cool area, right? And so one night, on the lid of one of those, the shakes, he said, he wrote on there, call me, Craig, for a good time. Just put on the thing. Put it on the lid, and this family walked out, and this big ass guy comes walking into Burger King. He goes, who's Craig? And I was this size, a little over 6'2", but like 160. I'm doing all these burgers, and I said, I am. And he goes, what's the meaning of this? I said, what are you talking about? Our manager, John, who's like about 102 years old, comes out of the back and goes, what's going on? And he goes, I want to know why this guy's hitting on my wife. I said, what? And I see my buddy, true story, busting up. I'm like, and anyhow, simmer it all down. So yeah, that's my Burger King story. True story, man. I just saw my life flash before my eyes, and it had a happy ending. But yeah, that's I'll never forget my birth. Shortly thereafter, I quit because it was just
Scary.
Yeah, it's scary as hell. Truly, it was. Yeah,
That's funny.
true story.
That's
What
a
about
good-
you, Matt?
Every
Do you have anything?
every night, come home felt like a Whopper.
What about you, Matt? Do you have anything?
I've never actually worked in retail. I've always been a warehouse kind of industrial machining kind of guy.
Yeah, it's pretty
But,
interesting.
Long stories, I don't really have any, like, I can't amount out to that. That's priceless. I can't match that one. That was very well said. I'd be scared too.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure. Good.
for me, I have two stories if you guys would like to hear them.
Sure.
Sure.
Because my boss is younger than I am. She's like half my age. She's like 20 and I'm like 29. I like to have fun with people, and I got her to embarrass herself twice. Well, once I got her to say "God damn it," and then the other time I got her to yell at a customer by accident. So this is what happened. Yesterday I came into the store, and I wanted to have fun with people. So we had this track. I work in a toy store. So we have this toy car that goes around and around on a track. And she said to me nicely, yeah, can you please turn it off? I have a headache. So I said, okay, fine. I won't mess with you today. So when I was standing in front of her, asking her, what do you want me to do? A customer turned the toy on and said, turn it off. I told you I had a headache. And he looked right at me and I was like, I'm standing in front of you. That's not me. And she turned red in her face and she yelled at a little kid. You were a little 4-year-old for playing with the toy. That's the first story. The second one is I got in trouble for this because, and when you work in a toy store, you don't give your personal opinion. But I'm a talk show host, so I kind of blur the two together because I like to present myself as professional. And also at the same time, when you're in a toy store, you have to keep that side separate. To me, I just think it's one and the same. Because if you recognize me from the toy store, then you go, hey, aren't you that guy from the show? Or if you see me on the show, aren't you that guy who does the show while you work in here? So I like to keep it real. Regardless if I become famous, I'm always going to be in a public place, in our public settings, because I'm going to stay humbled. I know I'm not going to let my head go up my ass like all these big fancy A-listers like Bruce Willis, who thumbs his nose down on people. Just saying. But we had this toy drone, and I said on a website, I hate these damn things, because every time I buy a drone, it always breaks, and I feel like it's a waste of money. So my boss was standing near the counter, and I walked over to the corner, helping a customer, and it's like, with the drone in my hand, it was doing like this. I wonder why it's not working. And the next thing I know, I heard, and it went up, hit the wall, bounced back against the cash register, and that was it. And I had the things on, so I kept going there. And she grabbed the button, so I'm like, God damn it, Keith. So when I try to be funny, it's not funny, but when I do stupid things, just like I always do, it's funny.
Right.
Gotcha.
That is funny.
But with that being said, we're wrapping up the talk show. One question I do want to ask you guys before I ask you my last subject is, how can your fans follow you on social media? Are you on Stage 32, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram?
I'll let you answer that.
For me, and everything's tied to my name, Craig Ahrens. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also LinkedIn.
And Matthew Roy. I'm also on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. So my Twitter name is going to be Matthew Roy 2018. LinkedIn is Matthew Roy, and Facebook is Matt Roy, MATTROY.
I do have a couple questions for you guys off the air. About wrapping up, how I end all my interviews is Greg, you know this one. I'm a big fan of Bill Raleigh, trying to get him on my show. So going on the record, when I first approached you guys to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction? And after being a guest on my show now, how do you feel now?
Well, since I already knew you, I was fine. So there you go.
I like doing these things. They're fun, and it's fun to get to know somebody else. It's fun to get out there together. It's people like hearing these kind of things. They like watching them. They like meeting new people, and this is a good way to do that, I think. So it was nice being on your show. I really enjoyed it.
No, absolutely. Hey, you're supporting a good cause, and you're making a new friend out of it.
Right.
Totally.
But with that being said, it was a real honor and privilege having you guys on my show, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys at some point. If you need me to be part of your films, I would love that.
Sure.
Now stay tuned. I have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up your segment, it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to doing a part 2 with both of you.
Thank you, Keith.
Brother.